Hi, if you've been thinking about buying a meditation pyramid and are confused about the different geometries and the different building materials, then this video is for you. We're going to be showing today a comparison between the two major geometries of pyramids, the Giza and the Russian pyramids, looking at their design, their energy fields, and making comparisons so that you can be a better educated consumer when you go to purchase your pyramids. So we put together a list of 11 comparisons that we're going to make between the pyramids, and so let's get started. First, in terms of the amount of energy that the pyramids generate, the Giza pyramid is not going to generate as much energy, and that's due to several factors, not the least of which is the geometry. We'll be discussing the building materials a little bit later. So if you'd like a pyramid with a stronger energy field, you're going to want to go with the Russian pyramid. It has the strongest energy field, in large part due to the geometry itself and the building materials of the pyramid. In terms of those of you who would like to be able to sit in the pyramid in a seat rather than sitting on the floor, again, the Russian pyramid is going to be the clear winner in that case, because the very geometry of the Giza pyramid makes it impractical to really use as a seated meditation pyramid indoors. I've done a space requirements section, the third comparison, where we look at a 7-foot tall pyramid, which is about what would be necessary for most people to be able to comfortably get in and out of a pyramid easily and still be able to sit down in it. For a 7-foot pyramid of a Giza geometry, you're going to need floor space of 11 by 11 feet, which is the size of some small bedrooms, in order to get a 7-foot tall pyramid inside a room in your home. Whereas to get a similar 7-foot tall pyramid in the Russian geometry, it's only going to take up about 43 by 43 inches. So a clear advantage to the Russian pyramids due to the fact that its geometry, by its inherent nature, is going to make seated meditation much more easy. In terms of the scientific research that's done, again, the nod goes to the Russian pyramids. The Russian government has funded scientific research over the last 30 years that's been performed in agriculture and health and environmental areas, and also material science. And it's been done by some of the leading scientists, physicians, and the like in Russia. Although Giza pyramids have been studied for many years, that research was generally being done by some of the early pioneers in meditation pyramids, such as Patrick Flanagan and others. And although they did a great job of compiling a lot of information, it really wasn't scientifically based, and it was nowhere near as broad and expansive a research effort, because they didn't have the tools and the technology at their disposal that the scientists did in the Russian pyramid research. So if you're looking for good solid science to back up your meditation pyramid, the Russian pyramid is going to be the one you're going to want to choose. In terms of popularity and recognition, the Giza pyramid is by far the clear winner in that category. It's for those people who have looked at pyramid meditation pyramids before, there's almost an exclusive knowledge of the Giza geometry pyramid, but most people are not even aware of the Russian pyramid due to the fact that the Giza pyramid meditation pyramids have been around for so long. So in that category, the Giza pyramid is clearly the winner, but I wouldn't necessarily suggest that you buy a pyramid based on its popularity and recognition. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing this video today. In terms of the construction materials used, the Giza pyramid meditation pyramids are almost exclusively made out of copper. Now, the Russian research has indicated that using base metals in a pyramid reduces the energy that's produced by the pyramid, And it seems as though that is the case. The most popular video that we have done, in fact, is to compare the energy fields of a copper and PVC pyramid. One of our videos doing that has gotten to close to 85,000 views. And it demonstrates, along with the Russian research, that you really want to be using non-conductive materials in the construction of your pyramid. All of the Russian pyramids in Russia and all of the pyramids that we make here at Stargate Pyramids based on the Russian geometry are all made from PVC. You can make them from wood and other non-conductive materials, and they work well as well. So again, in terms of the construction materials, we would suggest that the PVC, due to the fact that it enhances the energy field, is the preferred solution. In terms of the weight and ease of moving around, just the very geometry of the Giza pyramid is going to make that, as a meditation pyramid, more difficult to handle, to move around. It's going to be heavier because there's more pipe for a given height of the pyramid, number one, and two, the copper is going to be a lot heavier than the PVC, so it's going to be more bulky and more difficult to move around when it's time to change location or just to move it for vacuuming and cleaning. In terms of the sacred geometry of the pyramid, you're going to find that both the Giza and the Russian geometries have a phi relationship. The Giza pyramid is well known for the fact that both of its height and its edge height, which is along the edge of the pyramid, bear a phi relationship to the base length. So the Giza pyramid has that sacred geometry built into it. Until recently, many people did not, outside of Russia, most people did not know the sacred geometry of the Russian pyramids. And in fact, I believe that I'm at least, if not the first, one of the first to publicize the geometry of the Russian pyramid, which I found by reading torsion physics research. But the geometry is based upon the phi spiral. So it's hard to find that you won't find the three-dimension geometry, but through a fairly complicated procedure, I was able to determine the geometry of the pyramids, and it's based upon the phi spiral. Now that happens to be also an angle which corresponds to what I call the geometry of creation. Marshall Lefferts has written a book recently called Cosmometry, Exploring the Holofractal Nature of the Cosmos, and he calls this the phi scaling angle, and it's the angle that nature uses to scale from the galactic down to the microscopic. So in terms of the geometry and its interdimensional nature, the nod once again would go to the to the Russian pyramid. Now moving on to the next page, I've made a category called Other Man-Made and Natural Examples where this geometry is found. Now in terms of the Giza pyramid geometry, of course, other than some of the other pyramids there in that complex, to my knowledge, outside of that, there's not really many examples of that geometry that we find in nature or other man-made structures. But there is a tremendous and absolute treasure trove of information about where we find the geometry of the Russian pyramid in nature and also in man-made structures. This is found in basically all Hindu and Buddhist temples. I say potentially all because I haven't looked at every temple, but I've looked at hundreds of them, and every one of the Hindu and Buddhist temples that I've looked at has this geometry built into to their temples. You'll find it in pagodas in Japan and China. You're going to find it in religious buildings, even in Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. As an example, the church steeples in Christianity. You'll find it in the headwear in all the major spiritual traditions. You're going to find it in the structure of the cosmos, in the structure of DNA, in witch and wizard hats, which is an interesting topic for another video, dunce caps, the refraction of light and sound, which are harmonics going from pure thought down to the reality that we consider to be, our solid base of existence. So you're going to find it in mystery school architecture. You're going to find it in Egyptian hieroglyphs, contemporary government and office buildings, and architecture in both ancient and contemporary societies. So it's clear that this geometry has been known by mankind for thousands of years. Marshall Lefferts has also shown examples, which I don't have listed here, in nature, of Christmas trees, for example, using this geometry. Sand at low tide, birds fly in this geometry. So there are multitudes of examples demonstrating that the geometry of the Russian pyramid has a fundamental role to play in the creative process. Moving on to the scientific rationale for the geometry of these pyramids, to my knowledge, none is known for the Giza pyramid. I will point out that the slant angle of the Russian pyramid equates to the apex angle of the Giza pyramid. So to that degree, yes, there is a correlation there, and so there's some relationship, but we have not been able to determine a reason or rationale for the 76.345 apex angle that's found in the Giza pyramids. But the scientific rationale for the 76.345 slant angle of Russian pyramids is coming from Russian torsion field research, which demonstrates that the geometry of objects such as cones and pyramids that have the geometry of the phi spiral built into them are going to be the most efficient in generating that life force energy. You may remember we talked about the energy fields early on, and that is one of the most important reasons why the Russian geometry pyramid produces a much larger energy field. Now, in terms of cost, they're going to be comparable. I went on Amazon.com and looked at a number of Giza copper pyramid kits, and I found some that ranged from $222 to $269. Those that we provide at Stargate Pyramids run from $209 to $259. So basically, a wash there in terms of cost. And finally, in terms of maintenance of the pyramids, the copper is going to tarnish. If you can live with that, that's not a problem. But if you want to keep it up, it's going to require a lot of maintenance. Whereas the PVC pipe is going to require really only an occasional soap and water cleaning to keep it looking great for years to come. So there's probably many more things that we could look at in terms of this comparison, but I think you're going to see that if you're looking for an interdimensional geometry with the maximum amount of energy production, with scientific research backing the geometry of the pyramid, finding this pyramid used in spiritual buildings throughout the world historically, finding it in DNA and so forth. If these are the kinds of things that are important to you in the consideration of your purchase, then I think that the Russian pyramid deserves a lot of attention, and we at Stargate Pyramids use the exact geometry of the Russian pyramid and the phi scaling angle in the production of our pyramids. So in the comments section below, we'll have a link. If you're interested in purchasing one of our pyramids, please look at our website, and we'd be happy to assist you in building a pyramid for you. As always, we thank you for listening. Please remember to subscribe to Stargate Pyramids, tell your friends about it, ring the bell so that you'll be able to get all of this future research as we put it out to the public. We thank you for watching, and you have a great day.